Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode in Adventures of Comprehension. My name is Ciera Harris, and I'm really excited to be here with you all today. We have a fantastic episode in place, and I can't wait to dive in. Today we're going to be talking all about ways that we are killing the love of reading. Number one is restricting choices. This is huge. And you might be thinking, well, I do this because ... However, if a student is motivated to read a book, period, motivated to read a book, let them read it. It should not matter if it is on their level. It should not matter what kind of book it is, whether it's a graphic novel, whether it's a magazine, if it's a recipe book. It should not matter. But we have to recognize that reading is reading is reading is reading. Reading, it does not matter where it comes from, right? We grew up reading the boxes of our cereal or the sides of our cereal boxes in the morning. That was reading. That was practicing reading to us too. So we have to make sure that we are not killing the love of reading by restricting our choices for our students. Let them read whatever they want to read and whenever they want to read. If the book is too easy, that's fine. They're going to get a lot of benefit from fluency and practicing decoding and identifying those sight words. Like, there's lots of benefits from that. If the book is too hard, then one, they're going to realize it on their own. All right? Let them realize that a book is too hard and understand what maybe needs to happen in order to get through some of the difficult parts. That is a part of learning how to read as well. So we've got to make sure that this is something we stop doing. Another thing that we could be doing that is killing the love of reading is not allowing time to talk. Yes, I said it. Talk time. Talk time is so important. Our students read so much. They need time to process. They need time to share all the wonderful things that they are learning and reading about in their stories. I always had such I'm going to use the word strict because that sounds bad, but I had a very well-oiled machine classroom, right? You could probably tell just by the way that I present myself here that it was a no BS classroom. We had rules, we had routines, we had procedures, classroom management. Like, it was all very well in place. And one of the things that was a pet peeve of mine was talking during independent reading. Why? Why couldn't I have installed the rule of you can chat as long as you're chatting about the book? Let them talk about the book. So that right there, I mean, think about movies that we watch or TV shows that we watch. Or, adults. We're adults. We like talking about the books that we read. And it's because they become a part of our lives, a part of our identity, and it's entertainment. We like to talk about things entertaining to us, aka books. So that is something we need to allow our students to do. This is also important when we're thinking about our lessons and the texts that we are giving them within our lessons, not just independent reading time. But so if we're presenting them with a, one-page text, we need to make sure we give them time to talk through that as well for other reasons outside of entertainment, but more for processing and understanding and making meaning of that text as well. Another way that we can possibly be killing the love of reading is to always be reading for something. There's always something tacked on to the end of our reading, okay? This is why the programs such as Accelerated Reader can completely derail a school's culture for love of reading. Boom, out the window. Yes, it may take a year or two because there's going to be some infatuation with, if you have prizes set to levels or points or whatever. But I guarantee you within 2-3 years of implementing that program, your overall culture and love of reading as a school will completely plummet. Because this is what is happening. You are attaching something to every book a child reads. That should not be happening. What happened to reading for enjoyment? That is what we want our students to do, right? We want our students to read because they want to read, because they want to experience other worlds, because they want to learn about something new, because they want to connect with characters that are like them or unlike them. Not because there's a test at the end, not because I have to fill out a book log, right? That should not be happening. And everything we do in class has something attached, right? We read this to find the main idea. We read this to practice text structure. We read this to help visualizing. We read this to, I can name thousands of them. What about just reading to read? Let's read to read. Our read alouds for fun. Reading independently for fun. No reading log, no AR tests, no nothing. Read to read and have fun and enjoy it. But here's my question to you. Is it really happening in your classroom? And if it's not because it's coming from top down, then these are hard conversations that we need to have with our administration. Show them this video. There's no reason why you can't click that little send button, share button, and forward this video on, right? And if you did and you're listening, Mr. Principal, Mrs. Principal, there is so much more research that goes against programs like AR and reading logs than there is for those programs. So do your students a favor and say bye-bye and let your class and students read for reading. All right? All right, we're going to go into one more tonight, one more way that we are possibly killing a love of reading. And that is skipping the read aloud. Yes, even in upper grades, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, middle school, I know your timing is constrained, but students need to hear us read. They need to listen to stories that they may not have access to outside of listening to us, right? They may not get another time in their day to listen to a story, period. So reading aloud to students, whether they are in kindergarten or in 8th grade, is one of the top priorities of your day, because it's going to show your students this and this in one statement. Reading is a priority, period. So it does not matter if we had a 2-hour delay because of weather. We're still going to have our read aloud today. It doesn't matter if we had an assembly with a special guest. We're still going to have our read aloud today. It doesn't matter if our math lesson went 15 minutes long and now we only have 30 minutes for reading. We're still going to have our read aloud for the day. Show them that reading is priority over everything else. That lesson that we had planned, I'll do part of it today and the rest of it tomorrow. This reading, our book, that's what's important. Reading is priority. And when they see that from grade to grade to grade, and they know and can build that into their own schema and their own culture of learning, then we're setting them up for success. All right, if you would like more information about ways that you might be killing the love of reading in your classroom beyond the 4 that we talked about today, make sure to head to the description of the video. I've got a link there for a blog post of other things that could be happening in your school or your classroom you definitely want to read about. So make sure to head over and check that out. So again, tonight we talked about 4 different ways that you might be killing the love of reading, or your school, I should say as well. 1 was no time to talk. 2 was restricting your choices. I actually think I said those backwards. 3 is always reading for something. And number 4 was skipping that read aloud. So thank you so much for joining tonight. If you have questions about any of these or any comments that you would like to share, I cannot wait to read them. Make sure to hit the comment button below and let me know. And I will see you all next week for another episode. Thank you so much. Bye.